Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday night meeting of Practicing the Presence with Reverend Lori Mack. My name is Bob Clow and I'm here to read the announcements for the wonderful things going on here at Seaside. Tomorrow, March 26th, an evening with Tammy Mars and Rick Mars, and they're having a session called Calling in the One. That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. right here. Sunday, March 29th, Sharon De Leon will have a session after second service where you can create a vision board, and she'll show us how to do it. And then, April 5th is Easter. And starting at 6 a.m., right outside in the garden, will be the sunrise service, followed by 9 and 11 service. And after each service, there'll be an Easter egg hunt for the kids. And Kristen's message will be fantasy or fantastic. And guest artists Carl Anthony and the Seaside Choir music will be enjoyed. So invite a friend and come out. Tuesday, April 7th, Reverend Christian starts a 5-week class called The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself. That's for 5 weeks starting April 7th, right here at 6:30. And on Friday, April 10th, Dances of Universal Peace with Christine Stevens and Reverend Lori Mack and the Sophilius Band. Simple songs and dance, celebrating all paths to God. Put these on your calendar. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And a reminder, Lori is gathering stories to share on this Wednesday night service, and they're realizations, inspirational realizations, or ahas, or heart openings, forgiveness, anything that has inspired you. You can email it to Share Your Story with Rev Lori Mack. Share your story with Rev Lori Mack at gmail.com. And now our guest artist, Christine Stevens and Dan Cardinal.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? How are you doing? Good or good? So this song is for you to join us in. I think it's a perfect song to open us up tonight. The more you chant, the more your heart opens. This is not an audition. This is not a music lesson. Really, it's about breath and community. So will you sing with me, yes or yes? Okay, good. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening up, opening up, opening up, opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, 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 opening up, opening up, opening up, opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, 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 opening up, opening up, opening up, opening up.
On March 13th, we had the Dances of Universal Peace, and this is one of the dances that we did, and it is a prayer from a Roman Catholic priest, Saint Simeon, and it was a beautiful dance. So if you join us on April 10th, you'll see how beautiful the music is. So welcome to Practicing the Presence. My name is Reverend Lori McMacken, and we come here together as one to lift you up and to allow you to expand and to grow in your spiritual awareness of God, and to allow those infinite possibilities and those infinite potentialities to come out in your life. And tonight I'm going to be speaking about a peaceful heart through the pathway of forgiveness. And this is a candle lighting service. So as you light your candle, I'm going to ask you to have the intention to have a willingness to perhaps forgive something that is in your life or someone. So I invite you now to come forward and to light your candle as Christine and Dan lead us in song as we practice the presence together.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine and forgive. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, you can sing along. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Gonna let it shine, let it shine, gonna let it shine, all over Encinitas, let it shine, gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, from the top. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I feel the shine in the room. Yeah. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So now is our time to practice the silence. I invite you to close your eyes and to go within. And to breathe into your heart space. Breathing in and out of your heart space. And think of something that brings you peace in your life. Could be a place, a meditation, a person, a situation. And then just allow that feeling of peacefulness to open your heart and to emanate throughout your old heart. And as we go into the silence, allow this feeling of peace to flow through your whole body as we practice the silence together.
as I know that the presence is right here, right now. The presence of God, the presence of Spirit, fills this room, fills each one of our hearts. It's the power of love, the power of forgiveness, the joy of love and the joy of forgiveness, the grace of love and forgiveness. And that grace, that love, that power is present in each and every one of us. And this evening is an evening in which each of us deepen our connection with and awareness of the truth of our being and of the power and grace of forgiveness. For forgiveness is a space of great grace and power. And in gratitude for knowing that, in gratitude for knowing that we each have this opportunity this evening to expand our consciousness, I say, and so it is. My reading this evening is from A Course in Miracles. It's lesson 122. The title is, Forgiveness Offers Everything I Want. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness, a quiet mind, a certainty of purpose, and a sense of worth and beauty that transcends the world? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of sure protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed, a quietness that never can be hurt, a deep abiding comfort and a rest so perfect it can never be upset? All this forgiveness offers you, and more. It sparkles on your eyes as you awake and gives you joy with which to meet the day. It soothes your forehead while you sleep and rests upon your eyelids so you see no dreams of fear and evil, malice and attack. And when you wake again, it offers you another day of happiness and peace. All this forgiveness offers you and more. Forgiveness lets a veil be lifted up that hides the face of God from those who look with unforgiving eyes upon the world. It lets you recognize the child of God and clears your memory of all dead thoughts, so that your remembrance of your Father can arise across the threshold of your mind. What would you want forgiveness cannot give? What gifts but these are worthy to be sought? What fancied value, trivial effect, or transient promise, never to be kept, can hold more hope than what forgiveness brings? Why would you seek an answer other than the answer that will answer everything? Here is the perfect answer, given to imperfect questions, meaningless requests, half-hearted willingness to hear, and less than halfway diligence and partial trust. Here's the answer. Seek for it no more. You will not find another one instead. God's plan for your salvation cannot change, nor can it fail. Be thankful it remains exactly as He planned it. Changelessly it stands before you like an open door, with warmth and welcome calling you from beyond the doorway, bidding you to enter in and make yourself at home where you belong. Here is the answer. Would you stand outside while all of heaven waits for you within? Forgive and be forgiven. As you give, you will receive. There is no plan but this for the salvation of the child of God. Let us today rejoice that this is so, for here we have an answer, clear and plain, beyond deceit in its simplicity. All the complexities the world has spun of fragile cobwebs disappear before the power and the majesty of this extremely simple statement of truth. Forgiveness offers everything I want. And now we have the privilege and joy of hearing Reverend Laurie talk about a peaceful heart, the path of forgiveness.
Thank you, Candace. It was beautiful for grounding us in spirit. And thank you, Christine and Dan Cardamel. Peaceful heart through the path of forgiveness. So what I know is that all that God is, you are. For you are all the eternal qualities of God. You are love, and you are peace, and you are harmony, and you are wholeness, and you are beauty. For you are the essence of the divine Spirit. And what I know is that there is a personal God and there's an impersonal God. And the personal God is the God that is the love, is the one that you commune with on a regular basis. And the impersonal God is the law. And the law is always a law unto itself and always creating out of itself. It is mechanical and it is always in action. And it responds to your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions. And so when you focus on the qualities of God, the feelings of God, which is the secret, the love and the peace and the wholeness, then anything that is unlike God in your life just dissolves into thin air. And that is the secret of forgiveness. That is the secret to freedom. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, when he was evolving and growing in his spiritual path, what he did was he studied all the different religions around the world. And he wasn't forming a religion, he was forming a philosophy. And he pulled the golden thread from all the religions, and he pulled the common denominators from all the religions, and he put them together, and he formed the love, and he formed the law. And then he had the spiritual mind treatment. So what he wanted, this was his idea, of course, God's idea was different from his idea, is he wanted you to take this philosophy and take it into your religion. It could be Buddhism or Hinduism or Sufism. And I know exactly what he was talking about because when I was studying world religion, I actually took it twice from two different teachers. I fell in love with God every time I learned about a different religion. But religious science, I always came back to religious science. Like, oh, I'm going to be a Sufi. I'm going to jump the fence and be a Sufi. No, I'm going to be a Buddhist today. No, I want to be a Hindu. But I always came back to religious science. So it was a group consciousness that this became a religion. Because there's something within this religion that is perfect. It is the path of freedom. This is the religion where you have to take responsibility for everything that shows up in your life. Because you have a deep understanding that there is a power and a presence in your life that you can commune with on a regular basis, and there is a law unto itself. And you can heal anything in your life through the power of prayer. But you see, when you are on this path for a while, like everyone who is sitting here, you are on this path. And you're practicing the presence, and you're practicing all the eternal qualities of God, and you're having demonstrations, and you're having realizations, and you're having ahas, and you're having openings. And you know this is eternal because you're ever expanding, you're ever growing, and this is going to be your way of life forever. However, when there's something in your life, like you came into this teaching, before you came into this teaching, you had someone in your life that trespassed against you. And it bothers you. It kind of haunts you, in the silence of your mind. There is something when you know that you're perfect, whole, and complete, except for my brother. Want him in the room with him, It's all well. So you are this beacon of light because you become this beacon of light because you are on this path and you're courting the presence on a regular basis. When you go outside and you turn the light switch on in your backyard, what happens? Bugs are attracted to the light, right? So if there's something that is bugging you, it needs to be healed. Because if you don't heal it, what's going to happen? It's going to bug you again. And it needs to be healed. But if you don't heal it, what's going to happen? It's going to bug you again because it needs to be healed. It's something that's haunting within you that you know that you have to heal something within you. But how can you when you know that you're right and they're wrong? I know I'm right and they're wrong. That's right. But there is a law of liberty. And the law of liberty in religious science understands it's not right or wrong. It's whether you want to walk the path of freedom. Because you can be haunted by an unforgiveness and you will be in pain. Or you can walk the path of freedom. And this is difficult because you have to take responsibility for everything that shows up in your life. So the first thing is willingness. Are you willing to forgive? When you stand in your power of willingness and you focus on God instead, you don't have to know how you're going to forgive, because as many paths there are to God, there are paths to forgiveness. Because the doors will open up to you automatically. So there's a woman who is a beautiful woman inside and out. And she is on the path of light, seeing the light within her own life, practicing the teaching, and seeing the light in others. However, she has a brother that she has a resentment against. And do you know what a resentment is? A resentment is when you drink a glass of poison and you expect the other person to die. No, it's you that's dying inside. And this is why you need to free yourself from this. So she decided, she was sitting in the sanctuary like you were about 4 years ago, and Reverend Tammy Mars was standing up here, and she was talking about the book Loving What Is by Byron Katie. Okay. And in that book, there's a formula called the works. And so this was calling to her heart to go and buy this book. And the works asked her to write a statement about her brother that she had a resentment against. So her statement was, my brother is a bully. And then it wanted you to give supporting facts about your brother being a bully. Well, for 45 years, she has supporting facts that her brother is a bully. He's selfish. He's ignorant. He borrows money. He doesn't give it back. He's been pushing her into the line of fire with her father, who was an alcoholic and violent when she was a child. So she had she had a case against her brother. And then the second sentence was, they said, okay, make 2 other sentences and alter the sentence. So the second one was, my brother is not a bully. So she thought about that, and she might have thought about 1 or 2 situations where he's maybe not a bully and saw a little bit of light in him. And then the third sentence was, my brother has been bullied. However, in order to answer that question, she had to get out of her story, and she had to step into his shoes. And as she stepped into his shoes and saw life through his eyes, what she saw is that her brother has had a series of catastrophes in his life. She saw that he lost his business. His first wife had committed suicide. He went bankruptcy. He's in heavy debt. His second wife is dying. His child is troubled. And she has contributed to a series of bad events in his life. And she was not that supporting light that she has learned to be through this teaching of love and support. So at that moment, the key had turned. And she was ashamed and she was embarrassed. And when you are ashamed and you are embarrassed, your ego has broken. And she got out a piece of paper and she wrote a letter of love and said that she was so sorry for the way she acted all these years. And from here on in, that she will be a sister of support and a sister of love. And she sobbed as she wrote this letter to him. And when he received the letter, of course, it was the most beautiful letter in the world that he had ever received. And he started to sob, and he wrote a letter back to her, accepting her forgiveness and saying that he will be a person to support her and to love her in her life. And even though she knows that there is a law unto itself, and even if you are ignorant, the law is always in action, and she cannot live his life for him, but she can draw loving boundaries around him, and she can still hold him in light and hold him in love. So not only did she heal, but he healed. Not only did he heal, but their parents healed. Not only did their parents heal, but the family healed. Now they could have gatherings, and they can be in the same room together. The whole world heals when you practice forgiveness. Because it's not about what the other person did to you. It's about clearing the negative energy within you. And so everything opens up to you. Apostle Paul said to Jesus, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times? And Jesus said, no, 70 times 7. Because it is the embodiment of the forgiveness that gives you the freedom and relieves you from bondage. Of course, I've had my opportunity to do a little bit of forgiveness work in my life. And I know that it is a path. And I know it is difficult to do. But when I was in ministerial school, there's someone that I had a resentment against. And every day, I was haunted by this resentment. And I wanted to get rid of this resentment. I had practitioner sessions over. But I was thinking about, I wanted to heal instead of thinking about God instead. And so I shifted my focus to the qualities of God, of love and joy and peace. And as I shifted my focus to those qualities, and I stayed in that willingness to forgive, my last class in ministerial school, it was a class by Dr. Simmons. And he had a 21-day Q process. And during that Q process, I had no idea that that was going to turn the key for me. And I was taking this 21-day process. I realized in that process that I was not connected to my wholeness. If I was connected to my wholeness, I never would have been bothered by that person. That person did nothing to me. It was me who thought that person did something to me. It was like the door had unlocked and the bondage was released and I was free. It was such a beautiful experience. I remember just being so giddy and so happy when it happened. And about 2 months later, I ran into this person, and I had already done my forgiveness work, so nothing was bothering me. And this person came up to me and offered me something that I never in a million years would thought would happen. And after that, every single door and every opportunity opened up for me. Because I had healed. The whole world had healed. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is the essence of forgiveness. It is about being willing to forgive. About being willing to walk the path. There are so many paths of how to forgive, but that is never your problem on figuring it out how. Because the ego wants to figure everything out how to do it. You don't have to do that because the doors will automatically open for you when you walk that path. This is such a brilliant story about someone who walked the path of forgiveness and did exactly what I was talking about, focusing on love and gratitude, a quality of God, and being in that willingness. As a young woman, she had become addicted to drugs, and she had a child. And because she couldn't raise the child, she gave the child to the father to raise. And the father remarried, and there was a stepmother who couldn't have children, who loved and adored the child. But there was something within her that held a lot of fear because she would one day maybe lose this child to the mother. And so because of the guilt that the mother felt about giving her child to the father, she had accumulated a terminal illness that she carried for many, many years. And 24 years later, she had the opportunity to go back and to make amends with her child. And before she went, she decided to take the quality of God of love and gratitude. And so she got on the plane and she went to visit this child, and there was a healing when they were together. And as she came home, she went to the doctors and she had a blood test just to check up on her dis-ease that she had. And the doctor walked into the room and he said, "You will never believe this. There is no dis-ease in your body. You have been completely cleared. I have never heard of this before." Because when you focus on the qualities of God in your life, anything that is not like God automatically dissolves. So life went on, and the daughter called the mother and said, "We are moving out of state. We are moving to where you are right now. I'm bringing my husband, my 2 children, and my stepmother and my dad. So you can imagine what was going on in her mind, right? Like, oh my God, just when I healed, I have something else to heal, right? There's something that's going to bother you. Those bugs are going to come out when you become that light if there's something that needs to be healed. And she wasn't really quite sure how to heal it. So she just did what she knew how to do. And God is always going to make a path that is special for you. And she went on Facebook, and there was a forgiveness site. And she joined that forgiveness site. And on that forgiveness site, she was getting quotes every day. And one of the quotes said, "Accept the apology you never received." This is so simple. Accept the apology you never received. And within her, it's like she said her spirit felt free. Of course, her ego was like, what the heck are you doing? But her spirit was just free when she heard that. And 2 months went by, and she actually embodied it. And she accepted this apology that she never received. And all of a sudden, she thought, you know what? I'm going to go on Facebook, even though I'm not friends with the stepmother. I'm just going to message her because she's going to be coming out to where I'm living right now. So she messaged her, and the stepmother messaged her back. And the message that she gave her was the apology she already received. If that is not a demonstration. So not only did she heal, but the father healed, the daughter healed, the children healed, the husband healed, the 2 family heals. The whole world heals when you heal. It's a ricochet effect. And then she messaged them and said, I just want to know if there's a warrant out for my arrest because I haven't been able to pay my child support because of Christmas and everything. And the message that she received back, my husband called the courts and you owe us nothing. Nothing. The whole world heals when you heal. It's about staying in that willingness to want to forgive, that willingness to be free from any kind of bondage in your life, and that willingness to take a look inside and to focus only on the qualities of God that are in your life. Focus on love and joy and wholeness and goodness. You don't have to focus on healing and how to do it because you're just going to get more that you have to heal and more that you have to figure out how. That's the ego. It's focusing on God instead. And it's just allowing that forgiveness in your life. Because as you forgive people, the whole world heals. Let's pray. So as we come into the space of wholeness, into the space of goodness, I recognize the power and the presence of God. That is that one mind, that one life, that one perfect expression that's always expressing itself everywhere in its fullest. It is the power back of all things. For I know that I am the life of God. I know for all that God is, I am. I am those eternal qualities of spirit. I am love and joy and peace and wholeness. And as I know this for myself and I embody the presence of the divine spirit, I know each and every person in this room are the qualities of God. I know each and every person embody peace and wholeness and oneness. And I know if there's anything within your heart, within your mind, within your soul that needs to be forgiven, what I know for you is that you stand in that willingness to forgive. The willingness to forgive and to focus on God, focusing on the divine qualities of God. And I know the path, the perfect path, opens up for you. For as you forgive, the whole world forgives. It is the essence of love that's always permeating throughout the entire world. And I accept this. And I bless each and every person here. And so it is.
join us in this very ancient Sanskrit Buddhist chant of the heart. Gone, gone, further gone into freedom. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhiswaha.
Thank you, Christine and Dan. This is a heart sutra from the Buddhist tradition, a dance that we did for the Dances of Universal Peace. And what it means is gone, gone, beyond gone, that we no longer focus on the past, and that we're not focusing on what is in the future. We are here in the ever-present now, as we come together as one in Sangha to walk into the realm of enlightenment. It's a beautiful piece. So this is the time of our giving. I invite you to take your gift in hand, and I invite our ushers to come forward. And do we have our abundance affirmation? Together, let's say our abundance affirmation. Freely I give, freely I receive. I'm immersed in the universal flow. One more time. Freely I give, freely I receive. I'm immersed in the universal flow. So I invite you to take your gift and to place it over your heart as we go within. For I'm just so grateful for this time as we come together as one and we are immersed in this universal flow of wholeness and oneness. And what I know is that these gifts do good work in the world. These gifts support our community, Seaside Centers for Spiritual Living. As we grow and expand in the consciousness of the divine, I know that these gifts multiply abundantly and are returned 100%. And so it is. Thank you.
My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. My life is a prayer. As I give, so I am. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha
song. You just keep doing it. So this is our time where we do the Circle of Love healing prayer. And this is a time that I would like for you to bring someone in consciousness in your mind that may need a healing. And as you raise your hand, I will point at you and you can call their name and we will put their name into the Circle of Love consciousness and I will do a spiritual mind treatment. So, yes. You're good. All right. So I invite you to close your eyes and go within. As we take our loved ones in mind, we take them into our heart. As Ernest Holmes quotes, the circle of love is complete. It comprehends all. It includes all. It binds all together with cords of everlasting unity. I cannot depart from its presence nor wander from its care. The circle of love is complete within me. The circle of love is complete within each and every person here. And that circle of love is complete within each and every person that we hold in the mind of God. For it is in that light of God, that essence of God, that heals each and every person. Anyone who has a dis-ease, they are perfect, they are whole, they are complete, they are in the love of the divine spirit. Anyone who has disharmony, there is perfect balance and perfect harmony in their life. Any lack or limitation, this is a world of abundance, and each person is abundance and is overflowing from seen and unseen side. And I am just so grateful for this now, so grateful for the revealing and the healing of our loved ones, and so it is.
So it is.
So, I would like to thank Ed, thank you. Gregory and Tim, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Ginny Mills and Dennis Mills, Melissa. I would like to thank Denise, who has holded us in light, and Candace Young Schultz, who grounded us in spirit. Thank you. And I would love to thank Christine Stevens and Dan Cardamil. Thank you so much for expressing your creativity. And now for our universal blessing, I'm going to invite you to stand. And just repeat after me. If you want to do the hand movements, you can. If you don't, that's okay. May all beings be well and happy together. May all beings be well and happy. May all beings be free from strife. Again, may all beings be free from strife. May all beings return to love. May all beings return to love. Peace be with you forevermore. Thank you.
Be with you
forevermore. Come on up, girls.
This is a little chant that I wrote after doing some forgiveness work, so it's perfect. I am at home. I am at home. I am at home in my heart. I am at home. I am at home. I am at home in my heart. I want to hear you sing. Ready? I am at home. I am at home. I am at home in my heart. I am at peace. I am at peace. I am at peace in my heart. Now call out what you are in your heart. Let me hear a word. Okay, joy. Here we go. I am in joy. I am in joy. I am in joy in my heart. What else?